Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Obo Emmanuel and this is my channel. Welcome to another episode of Writing in SLT and I'm so excited about this. Today we are sorting this thing out once and for all. And what is that thing? This is the three musketeers. I call them three musketeers because they're really important in thesis writing or research writing. That is the problem statement, purpose of the study, and significance of the study. So many students find these three terminologies, three subheadings so hard to define or so hard to separate. But in this video, if you watch to the end, I promise that you would have a better understanding of these three and be able to define it better when you're writing your research paper or your thesis paper. Now, before we get down to it, please do subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified when I drop good content and educative content such as this. Let's get down to what we have for today. Looking at is the statement of the problem, or problem statement, or research gap, depending on how it is being defined. It means the same thing. Now, this is the gap your research will fill, or your project or your thesis will fill. This means that after telling us that yes, there are studies that have been done on this particular topic and they've made some findings, but there is still something that is missing that you want to fill. Now, this is where you tell us, okay, this is the problem, this is the gap your research will fill. For example, this was drafted out of a thesis from which topic was identification of parasite from stream water in curricula. If you agree with me, there are many topics and many research on parasite from stream water, but the problem here is that the gap this will fill is that there are no studies or there's no literature on parasite found in Curicue River. This is what this researcher is trying to fill. And if you read together, let's read together. It says that waterborne parasitic infections are considered a threat to public health and of public health importance, especially in developing countries. Many infectious parasites are transmitted by water through the oral-fecal route. Water, especially surface water like stream water, is usually contaminated by microbial pathogens. There are several factors that will contribute to this, including heavy rainfall and agricultural residues which transfer the parasite to the surface water by soil. In Curicue, life and natural states, the major source of water is the stream water, which most of the rural dwellers use for domestic and agricultural purposes. There are a few studies on stream water contamination by parasites. No literature on studies of parasites in Curicue stream water, which makes it imperative that through a microbiological examination, that thorough microbiological examination is conducted on the water source. You can see that I've highlighted in this example the gap there. After saying yes, waterborne disease exists and there are several factors leading to it, the gap there is that there are a few studies that exist on water contamination by parasites, yes, and no literature exists in Curicue. So this is the gap that this particular problem is trying to fill in this particular study. Now let's get there to the next one. I hope you are getting it. The next one we're looking at is the purpose of the study. Here you are telling us why it is important to fill this gap. What if this gap didn't want to be filled by other researchers and is not important? So you have to give us good convincing points and possible adverse effects of if that gap is not filled. Now, for example, using the same topic, remember the topic is identification of parasites in stream water, Curicue stream water. Now, we know that water is a major source of acquiring several pathogens, including bacteria, viruses, and parasites. These biological agents can be transmitted via non-sanitized water. Population growth urbanization, the existence of infected animals, climate variations, and deficit of water in the ecosystem, agricultural practices, poor hygiene, and poverty are the main factors for spread of pathogenic parasites. Thus, there is need for provision of potable drinking water in our communities, especially the rural communities, and this cannot be overemphasized. There is therefore need to subject this water to microbiological examination, hence this study to isolate and identify parasites from stream water in Curicue. As you can see, what I think the why is there is need to provide drinking water in rural communities to curtail the spread of parasitic diseases. That is why it is important. And if it is not filled, there will be other waterborne diseases that we may not be able to control. You can see that is just it. Now the next thing to look at is the significance of this study. You tell us who will find this study important. Now, in the significance of the study, make sure that your research is solving a human problem. It has to solve a human problem. If it's not solving a human problem, it's basically not useful. Depending on what you're working on, if it's veterinary medicine or so, it must be something that is solving a particular important problem. So, who will find your study useful? That is the significance of the study. Now, the same example for using the same topic. Example, you see the finding of this study will add one. Look at it. We add to existing data on parasitic contamination of water. 2. It will serve as reference material for further studies on the stream water, that particular stream water. Then it will also educate rural dwellers in Curicue as well as the authorities on the impact and mitigation of the presence of pathogens in the stream water. Now, these are the people that will find this study significant, and it's very important to define that out. If there are nobody finding your research work significant, then it's important. So remember, the statement of the problem is the gap your research will fill. The purpose of study is telling us why. Give us a justification why the research is important, while the significance of the study is who. So I call it the 3 W's: the what, the why, and the who. The what, the why, and the who. These are the 3 main things. I hope with these few points you'll be able to understand everything about these 3 musketeers, like I call them, the 3 W's: the why, the what, the why, and the who. So before we go, please do subscribe to the channel, and I hope you've learned something in this video. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.